We all know that Christianity forbids sex before marriage, but is it actually a sin or not? This question has troubled many believers, leading to debates among scholars, pastors, and young Christians alike. Some argue that the Bible never explicitly calls it a sin, while others say God's design for purity is clear. But to truly understand, let us go back in time, to a story that unfolds in the land of Israel, in a small village near Jerusalem. There was a young man named Ezra, the son of a respected elder. He was known for his wisdom and devotion to God. He studied the law of Moses diligently and often taught in the synagogue. Ezra was betrothed to a beautiful young woman named Tisa, a kind and humble maiden who loved the Lord. Their wedding was just months away, and excitement filled the air. But Ezra had a friend, Nathan, who was known for questioning traditions. One evening, as they walked through the market, Nathan turned to Ezra and said, "My friend, I have been thinking, where in the scriptures does it say that sex before marriage is a sin?" Ezra frowned. "It is written that a man shall leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and they shall become one flesh." Genesis 2 verse 24. Does this not show that intimacy is for marriage? Nathan chuckled. That speaks of marriage, yes, but it does not say it is a sin before marriage. What about our forefathers? Did they not take multiple wives and concubines? Did Jacob not lay with Leah before realizing she was not Rachel? Yet God still blessed them. Ezra was troubled. He had always believed it was a sin, but was it truly written? And so, he went to seek answers from the village elder, his father. Ezra found his father, Eliab, seated among the elders, discussing matters of the law. When the meeting ended, he approached him with great respect. "Father, I seek wisdom. Is sex before marriage truly a sin?" Nathan says it is not clearly written in the scriptures. Eliab stroked his beard thoughtfully. "My son, the law speaks against fornication." Deuteronomy 22 verses 13 to 21 speaks of the disgrace upon a woman found not to be a virgin on her wedding night. The punishment was severe in Israel. Does this not show that God considers it shameful? Ezra nodded, but he still had doubts. "But Father, what of those who did it and were still used by God? What of Eliab, the harlot, who was saved and placed in the lineage of Christ? What of King David, who sinned but was still called a man after God's own heart?" Eliab sighed. "There is a difference, my son, between God's mercy and God's will. Sin has consequences, but God's grace can redeem." Does grace make sin acceptable? Certainly not. Romans 6 verses 1 to 2. Ezra pondered deeply. He needed more clarity, and so, he decided to seek out the high priest in the temple. Ezra traveled to the temple in Jerusalem and met with the high priest, Zadok. He bowed in respect and presented his question. The high priest listened and then said, "Ezra, let me tell you a story. Once, there was a young couple, Miriam and Jesse. They loved each other and planned to marry. But in their passion, they laid together before the wedding. At first, they felt no guilt. But soon, Jesse began to doubt Miriam's loyalty, and Miriam feared Jesse would leave her. Love turned to suspicion, and their relationship broke before it even began." Ezra's eyes widened. "So you are saying that sex before marriage damages trust?" Zadok nodded. "Yes, my son. And more than that, it dishonors God's design. In 1 Corinthians 6 verse 18, Paul says, 'Flee from sexual immorality. Every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexually immoral person sins against his own body. The body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. Is it not a sin to defile God's temple?" Ezra felt a conviction stir in his heart. Perhaps the issue was not just about rules but about the holiness of the body and spirit. He returned home determined to share his understanding with Nathan. Ezra found Nathan at the well and shared everything he had learned. Sex before marriage is not just about laws, it is about honoring God, preserving trust, and keeping ourselves holy. It is written, "This is the will of God, your sanctification, that you abstain from sexual immorality." 1 Thessalonians 4 verse 3. Does this not settle the matter? Nathan was silent for a long time. Finally, he said, "Ezra, I have always searched for loopholes because I feared the truth. But you have shown me that obedience is greater than desire. I see now that to follow God is to trust His wisdom above our own passions." Ezra smiled. "And we do not obey out of fear, but out of love for Him." That night, Ezra and Teza's betrothal was celebrated with great joy, and they waited for their wedding with renewed purity and reverence. And so, the question was answered, not just by words, but by the understanding that God's ways are always best, even when they go against human desires. Now that we have listened to this story, what is your opinion on this historical question? Is sex before marriage a sin or not? Drop your answer in the comment section, and make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.